More states are considering passing their own laws just like that one. So let's bring in tonight's panel to talk about it again. Scott, Derek, and Bree are back. And Bree, I'll start with you. It's interesting because I hear from a lot of folks who are on the gun rights side who say with the proper due process rights, they don't have a problem with this.
Yeah, I honestly have kind of conflicting feelings about this because, time and time again, you can see an instance where if there had been procedures in place that people would have followed, it could have potentially prevented a mass shooting. But on the other hand, I guess what does constitute an ability to take this away, right? I mean, if in this case, it does seem a little bit better. No one's complained about it and things like that. But in other cases, I mean, could my parent who's upset at me or another family member call and have my gun taken away for a personal matter? That's not, always clear. And that's something that we do have to wrestle with and we do have to look at. So I think it'll be interesting to see how reactions continue to play out in Seattle and in other states that are enacting these kind of laws.
Yeah, Derek, I talked to Lindsey Graham and some others on the Hill who are trying to work on something at the national level that would work this way to kind of codify this. But the thing is, in his case, what he was talking about, they could actually take the gun before the person who's fighting it has a chance to go to the judge and make his argument.
Right, and that's
so
the problem.
That, for a lot of people, that step is problematic.
That's putting the cart before the horse. As we heard in the case there, the courts rarely turn this down. And I don't want it to become like a FISA situation. I agree with Bree that this is an important tool for law enforcement, and there certainly are people, I think we could all agree, like, we've got to keep an eye on this person. But if it does become weaponized, if it does become there's a bitter divorce or a family feud at Christmas and somebody decides I'm going to show them what for, you don't want it to be an automatic tap-in putt in the courts. There have to be due process protections. It's early in this, and it's spreading now. I certainly don't want it to be on a national level, because if the government does anything, it screws things up. But on a state-by-state level, where the government is more reactive directly to the people and responsive to the people, I'm a little more comfortable with this. But again, I need to see more data.
I hear discomfort from my colleagues here who are Republicans or Republican-like. How do you disagree with these 6 states that say if you are mentally ill, mentally challenged, or have issues, and people report you, and you have to give them due process?
I think there's something off about you. I want to report you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you okay with that?
You
lose your gun rights for a year.
I'm okay with that
because I said something.
I get due process.
As long as that part is built into it.
Well, the law has to
require.
I'm a former prosecutor from New York City. I can tell you these laws work. And in all the states, in one form or another, you have these laws in place already. This kind of streamlines it. But the bottom line is, whether it's Parkland, whether it's South Carolina, whether it's Texas, the risk of someone mentally ill committing a mass murder. I don't want to have my
rights diminished because somebody else abused theirs.
I think
I'm sorry, that's
slippery ground. If you don't want mentally ill people to have guns,
but
you're on slippery slope.
But if it's the assessment of a friend or family member or someone who would want to weaponize it that goes to the authorities and say, I don't think they're right.
That's why you have a judge. That's why you have a court system. And while their rights may be abridged through this process,
I just keep hearing
they
FISA,
get the court.
FISA, that worked out
that's
well.
because the Republicans need FISA was manipulated by the Democrats. I'm sorry, it was the Republicans that manipulated
Democrats did when George Bush was president. It's kind of weird.
Oh my.
You cannot be against these
We're devolving into something else.
The
FISA fight continues during the commercial. But
I think he's crazy over it. He needs to have his gun rights.
He brought up FISA.
That one's going to be pay-per-view. Okay, thank you all. Great to see you all tonight.